So what is We Are Change?
Well, it's very interesting, I have to admit, and I still am trying to figure out how this guy fits into the organization. It's difficult to say, but clearly he was a featured member of that documentary film. And what was that documentary called? Truth to Power. And it's a very interesting film. Yeah, because, I mean, if you watch that film, I think it's like halfway through the film somewhere, he talks about how he's a Freemason. And he talks about how, well, you know, you have to do this to be a Shriner, and you have to do all these things. And, I mean, it's just unbelievable. And apparently, I guess We Are Change has even had some meetings at the Masonic Temple. I mean, that in itself is ridiculous.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and you're absolutely correct. They did have some meetings at a Masonic temple, and there is video proof of it. You got them sitting around tables. You can see the Masonic checkered floor. There are other pictures that you can find posted online that show the inside of, you know, the Masonic building. And it shows their iconography and such. I know as we're coming up on a break, but we'll just continue this. This is good stuff.
Yeah, no, we definitely will. Yeah, we got a break, but we're going to continue the conversation about this because this is really important. I mean, we have to understand the full scope of what we're dealing with here. So we'll be right back, folks, with Derek from the Midwest. We'll talk about some more. Stay with us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have Derek from Midwest on the air with us, and we're talking about this very interesting information pertaining to the group We Are Change and this particular individual by the name of Craig Fitzgerald, who appears to be a fairly high-level member of this organization. Not exactly sure how high-level he is within We Are Change, but it appears as if he is fairly prominent. And I tell you what, unfortunately, you have to be logged in to Facebook in order to see some of the links that I believe, Derek, you're putting into the chat room. But, I mean, it says it right here. Yeah, if you go to Craig Fitzgerald's front page, it's funny. It says under activities, George Washington Lodge, 285, John Birch Society, We Are Change, Campaign for Liberty, and then, it's funny, it goes down to TV and it says Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura. That's one of his favorite TV shows, apparently. And then for movies, he has Police State 4, The Rise of FEMA, and a bunch of other stuff. Some of the stuff I don't even recognize. But it's obvious that he's promoting the, I guess you could say, the mainstream patriot paradigm. It seems very obvious. And the type of stuff that he talks about in the video that we mentioned earlier is basically the same type of nonsense. Okay, the CFR Bilderberg group, yeah, they're at the top, and they're the ones doing all these evil things. You know, yada, yada, yada. You know, it's the same song and dance. But yet this guy is a member of a secret society, and somehow, well, we shouldn't question that. We shouldn't question the fact that he's a member of a secret society. That's okay. Because, oh yeah, well, the Founding Fathers were Freemasons and all this other stuff. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't buy that. Anybody who is a member of some sort of secret society, as far as I'm concerned, should immediately be questioned. Because why are you a member of some society that has all these secrets? I mean, if you're really doing good things, it would be out in the open. It wouldn't be behind closed doors. So the Freemasons, like all these secret societies, I believe at least, are incredibly nefarious. But Derek, do you have anything else to add to what I just said?
Sure. I would say that you definitely hit it right on. If they are doing these works for the betterment of mankind, then I think that they are things that they could be discussing outside of their closed-door meetings and things like that. And the same you see with these groups like Bilderberg and the CNP and all those fellows there. If this is stuff that was for the benefit of mankind, it would be, you know, reported and shouted about, and humanity would gleefully be overjoyed with, you know, the news that they would have to present. But the news that they have to present isn't going to make us happy. It's going to make us quite angry, and that's why they want to do these things behind closed doors. I'm just going to read, I opened it. It was printed in 1925. My version of the book, the original version, was printed in 1871. There are rumors that this book has changed over time. I don't know after what year. I know the cover image has changed. Change, I believe in 64 or 66. They switched from double-headed phoenix to the House of the Temple. I don't know if that's symbolism, alluding to the change, or if there is no change, if there is a change, what the change is, I'm not sure. But I've heard about certain books like Morals and Dogma, and say The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall, certain occult books. I've heard that certain words and certain phrases have been changed or subtracted or things like that. I don't know. I don't have an original version of the book, but I got the oldest one I could find that, wasn't $700 for the first edition, and I figured that 1925 wasn't too far off. And I noticed that, different versions have been printed since, and this appears to be an actual facsimile of the original. But on page 844, if you don't know what Morals and Dogma is, basically it's referred to as the Freemasonic Bible. It's the first 32 degrees of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. It runs through basically the lessons and the philosophy and the so-called moral teachings of Freemasonry. And it even tells you, if you read the whole book, it's a long read, but it tells you basically, if you get through it, that the earlier degrees are degrees where you specifically lied to and misled, and that the symbology and all the information regarded within are things that you don't actually learn the true meanings to until you get to the end. You get to the higher degrees, and then the things, that the truth is revealed, basically. And this is page 844, and this is from Sublime Prince of the Royal Secret. This is, I think, the second to last degree, if I'm not mistaken. But this is from one of the later degrees. I believe it's the 31st. The secret of the occult sciences is that of nature itself. The secret of the generation of the angels and worlds. That of the omnipotence of God. So it's saying right there in that sentence, from one of the last degrees of the Scottish Rite, once you do find these things out, that things are kept from you, it tells you right there that the occult are basically to make men of gods. And I don't know if there is a God that exists or not. I don't presume to say whether there is or isn't, but I do presume to say that if there is one that exists, that most likely it's above us with nothing we can do about it. And I could be wrong, but I don't think that God would have necessarily, created us to one day possibly be as powerful or understanding as him, and I don't think we have that capability. I could be wrong, but regardless, not something that sounds on the up and up as far as I'm concerned, philosophically.
Yeah, but of course that's what they believe, and we see this theme over and over and over again. Whether it's the Freemasons or whoever, it's really irrelevant. You have this theme of these people who believe that they can perfect man to become God. And, you see it everywhere. This whole movement with transhumanism is certainly tied into that. So, obviously, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, all these secret societies, the type of, I guess you could say, the type of philosophy that they have, it's incredibly negative. It is not for the betterment of mankind. It's for a small group of people who have this supposed secret knowledge they keep for themselves, and they believe that they can manifest this world to the point where they can achieve this level of godhood. That's really what they believe. So, again, back to this character, Craig Fitzgerald, who is an admitted member of the Freemasons. We have to question this whole We Are Change group, period. If we have somebody who appears to be fairly high level that is within this group, and not to mention the fact that We Are Change has continually associated themselves with Alex Jones and that fraudulent operation down in Austin, Texas. So I think this group is absolutely something that we should be looking at a lot closer. And I've suspected this for a long time, but I didn't realize that they had somebody who was involved in the Freemasonic order, as much as this guy is, and admits that he is in the group. So, very interesting stuff. But anyway, Derek, we've got a few seconds before the break. Do you have anything else you want to add before we head to the break?
That pretty much covers what we were talking about. On the other side, I'll post more pictures for everybody, and we'll get into some of those Masonic hand signs that you were alluding to earlier, and some pictures of the lodge and all that kind of stuff. So everybody who's listening, stay tuned. Call your friends, tell them to tune in, because this is important stuff that everybody needs to know about.